So now you are how to form a quadratic equation with given roots. So this is the formula we use to form a quadratic equation with given roots: x squared minus sum of roots x plus the product of roots equal to 0. With this, you can form any quadratic equation. They may give you two roots. They'll say form the equation with two roots. Let me just say 2 and 3. With those two roots, you can form a quadratic equation. So let me give you a simple example. Let me say form the quadratic equation whose roots are -2 and -3, -1 and 5, 1/2 and 1/3, 3/2 and 1, and let me just say 3/5. So now the roots of a quadratic equation is actually the solution to that quadratic equation. Everything I've been doing since, when you solve the equation and get your two answers, x equal to, let me say, 2 or 3, that 2 or 3, they are called the roots of the quadratic equation. So now they are going to be forming the equation from this root. This root will form the equation from the roots. So now for the first one, you have to form the equation with -2 and -3. So to form this now, using the formula x squared minus sum of roots plus product of roots equal to 0. Easy, just like that. So now I'll have x squared minus the sum of roots is the addition of the two roots, that is -2 minus 3. You add your x plus product of root is the multiplication of the two roots, -2 times -3 equal to 0. Hope you are following. That's it. So now -2 minus 3 is -5, and then I'll have x squared minus, this is -5x plus this time this is this time this minus and minus is plus. 2 times 3 is 6 equal to 0. So minus plus minus is plus, and I'm having x squared plus 5x plus 6 to be equal to 0. And I've successfully formed the equation from the roots. It's very, very simple. That's just it. The next one, -1 and 5. So to form the equation, do the same thing using the formula x squared minus sum of roots, you add it, -1 plus 5 x plus the product of roots, you multiply it, -1 times 5 equal to 0. So now -1 plus 5 is 4. So here is x squared minus 4 x plus, now the product of roots, -1 times 5 is -5. This is -5 equal to 0. So now minus times this is -4. So I'll have x squared minus 4x. Then this plus times minus is minus. I'm having -5 to be equal to 0. And that's the quadratic equation. So now all this equation, if I solve it, if I solve this one, my answer is going to be 2 and 3. -2 and 3 will be the answer. If I solve this, the answer is going to be -1 or 5. That's it. 1/2 and 1/3. So you following the same formula, x squared minus sum of roots, you add it, 1/2 plus 1/3 x. Now the product of roots is 1/2 times 1/3 equal to 0. So now x squared minus, if you add this now, remember what I taught you before about fractions like this. You just do this time this plus this time this all over this time this, easy. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 3 times 2 times 1 is 2 all over this time this is 6 x plus, now you multiply this, you don't multiply the numerator. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 3 is 6 equal to 0. So hope you know that the difference between 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3 and 1 over 2 times 1 over 3. When you're multiplying numerator and numerator, denominator and denominator, that's it. But when you're adding, you are doing something like LCM. The LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. 2 going to 6 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 3 going to 6 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. That's it. So now I have x squared minus this plus this is 5 all over 6. You add the x, then plus 1 over 6 equal to 0. Now your mind, yeah, you see you stop here. But this is not a standard quadratic equation. You're not supposed to stop here. So now you're going to remove this fraction. For you to remove this fraction, I'm going to multiply every single term here by the LCM. What's the LCM? 6. So you multiply every single term by 6. So I'll multiply x squared by 6. I'll multiply the second one, 5x over 6. I'll multiply it by 6. I'll multiply 1 over 6 by 6. Also multiply 0 by 6. So doing that now, this time this, I'll have 6x squared. Then 6 will cancel 6. I'm left with minus 5x. 6 will cancel 6. I'm left with plus 1 equal to 0 times 6 is 0. Was it the question I gave to you? Check. So this is the answer. 1 over 2 and 1 over 3. That was the answer. I actually formed this question. That is 3 over 2 and 3 over 5. So I'll still follow the same principle. X squared minus sum of roots 3 over 2 plus 3 over 5 x. Now the product of roots, we multiply 3 over 2 times 3 over 5 equal to 0. So now I have x squared minus, do the same thing I did here. This time this is 15 plus this time this is 6 all over this time this is 10 x. Now you multiply here, this time this is 9 and then this time this is 10 is equal to 0. So x squared now minus this is 21 x all over 10 plus 9 over 10 equal to 0. You're not expected to stop here. Multiply every single term by 10. So you do that, I'll have 10 times x squared minus 21x over 10. You multiply by 10 and then plus 9 over 10 multiply by 10 equal to 0 times 10. So now here will be 10x squared minus this will cancel this, I'm left with 21x, and then this will cancel this, I'm left with 9 is equal to 0 times 10 is 0. So we have successfully formed the equations for these 4 roots. So let me just give you a question that you try. This one is very easy, very easy. So let me just give you this question. Form the equation with this root. Form the equation with this root. 3 plus root 3 and 3 minus root 3. So for those watching online, form the equation and drop your answers in the comment section. That's it. I'm waiting for your response.